Greetings, Chicago Bears fans. It's that time of year again when the anticipation starts to build and the energy around the team begins to take shape. The organized team activities, or OTAAs, are just about to kick off, and you can already feel that healthy sense of competition creeping in. Whether you're a longtime fan or someone who's just starting to follow this new chapter of Bears football, there's plenty to keep an eye on as the team prepares for what could be a defining season. With a new coaching staff settling in and a young roster brimming with potential, the OTAs represent more than just a series of practices. They're the first steps toward building identity, chemistry, and cohesion. For the next few weeks, we'll get glimpses of how this group is beginning to gel, which players are stepping into bigger roles, and whether the early signs point to promise or to problems that need urgent addressing. Starting tomorrow, the Bears will be on the field, and from there, the schedule rolls out with sessions through Thursday, then picks up again next Tuesday, and goes through Friday. Somewhere in between, a mandatory minicamp will break up the flow. That's becoming more common across the league. Some teams use the minicamp to replace one of the 3 OTA sessions, but considering that the Bears are working under a brand new coaching regime, it's unlikely they'll skip any of them. The final OTA window runs from June 9th to 11th. So what we're looking at is a tightly packed 3-week stretch of development, evaluation, and preparation. What exactly are we looking for? What should fans be hoping to hear about in the coming weeks? Well, one of the biggest things I'm personally focused on is whether the offense can finally start getting the upper hand in these 7-on-7 drills. Over the past few years, it's become a bit of a pattern. We keep hearing that the defense is dominating these situations, and while that might be understandable during full team practices, where contact and scheme can make things messy for a developing offense, it shouldn't be the case in 7-on-7s. Those are designed to favor the offense. No pass rush, no physicality at the line, just matchups, timing, and execution. If your offense can't consistently win in that setting, it's a concern. And to be clear, I'm not expecting everything to be flawless. There's a new playbook, new terminology, and new responsibilities, especially for the quarterbacks. That takes time, but by the second OTA session, we should be hearing that the offense is moving the ball well, completing passes, and showing rhythm. The key to success in these passing drills is simple: quick decision-making and accuracy. There aren't a lot of moving parts. The quarterback drops back, reads the coverage, finds the best matchup, and lets it rip. There's no pass rush to bail out the defense. The Bears have receivers who can create separation, and they've got a quarterback who, in theory, should be able to deliver the ball on time. This is where you want to see that connection start to form between the quarterback and his receivers, between the coaching staff and the players. These are the moments where good habits are built. So while no one's getting crowned a champion during OTAs, you absolutely can see whether a team is moving in the right direction. And if the offense struggles in this setting, it's something to note. There's one player, in particular, that I'm keeping a close eye on. I'm not saying he needs to be the #1 receiver this year. There's already an established leader in that room. But it's time for him to take the next step. Last season didn't quite live up to expectations. Not after a rookie year that showed flashes of potential. In that first year, he went over 700 yards, and the talent was obvious. But then came the sophomore slump. We've seen that before. It's not unusual. Still, for a guy drafted in the first round, the bar is higher. He's had a season where he put up over 1,300 yards, so we know the ceiling is there. What we're waiting for now is consistency. This doesn't have to be a breakout to start him overnight, but we need to see growth. OTAs are where that starts. Crisp routes, chemistry with the quarterback, command of the playbook. Those are the little things that translate into big gains later on. And speaking of young players trying to make a name for themselves, another guy I'm watching closely is Tyreek Stevenson. It's a make-or-break year for him. His rookie season was up and down, some strong moments, but also a fair share of struggles. He started last year with some solid play, but things tailed off after that game against Washington. The defense as a whole had its issues, and he was no exception. But now, in these early practices, we're hearing that Stevenson is showing up, making plays, standing out. That's the kind of development you want to see. He's got a coach in Al Harris who knows exactly how to push him. The talent is there, but he's got to put it all together. This offseason is his chance to do that. A strong performance in OTAs could set the tone for a bounce-back campaign. Let's not forget the rookies either. Everyone wants to know who's popping, who's flashing early. I'm especially curious about Luther Burton. Wide receivers often get noticed in these settings because they can show off their route running and hands without the worry of contact. Offensive line play is harder to evaluate right now. It really comes down to footwork and pad level. But we still want to know if a guy like AZ Trapillo is holding his own. Colston Loveland is rehabbing a shoulder injury, so he might not be in action yet, but that opens the door for others. And on defense, how's Montez Sweat looking? Can anyone on the offensive line stand up to him? That's the kind of thing we'll be watching for, even if the action isn't full speed. One of the biggest stories bubbling in the background, though, doesn't involve a position battle or a new scheme. It's about how Caleb Williams responds to some recent comments made by Seth Wickers. There's been chatter, quotes floating around from both Caleb and his father, expressing doubts or hesitations about being drafted by the Bears. It's natural that he's going to be asked about that, and it's critical that he's ready with a clear, honest response. This is where the communication staff, along with Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson, need to be on the same page. Trying to dodge the question or deny what's already been quoted will only make things worse. The smart move is to face it head on. If Caleb says something like, "Yeah, I had some concerns before the draft. I didn't know what to expect. The history here hasn't been kind to quarterbacks," that would be totally fair. But then he needs to pivot, say that once he met with the organization, once he understood the vision, he was on board. That's the narrative that works. That's what quiets the noise. Being open about those early doubts doesn't make him look weak. It makes him relatable. Fans get it. They've seen quarterback after quarterback come and go. They want someone who understands that history and wants to rewrite it. If Caleb tries to pretend those conversations never happened, it'll only drag the issue out. A simple transp. There's also a rookie running back who's got a golden opportunity ahead. He was taken in the 7th round, but the second spot in the backfield is wide open. With no clear backup locked, the offensive coordinator has already hinted that no job is secure this spring, which opens the door for someone like him to push the competition. While no one's expecting him to lock up a role just yet, these are the moments when momentum starts to build. A strong showing now could set him up to be one of the biggest surprises by the time training camp hits. As for the top 5 players to watch, the picture becomes even more compelling. One of them finds himself in a unique position. The team made a first-round selection at his position, but that player won't be available until training camp. That creates a perfect window for him to remind everyone of his value. Last season, he was largely overlooked, but that doesn't mean he's out of the picture. Quite the opposite. This is a chance for him to prove he still belongs in the rotation and deserves meaningful snaps. If he can show reliability and command during these practices, he might just shake up the pecking order. Then there's a wide receiver out of Missouri who fits this offensive scheme like a glove. He excels at generating yards after the catch, and that's exactly what this system thrives on. Don't be surprised if he sees more action than initially expected. While the depth chart ahead of him is stacked, there's still room for someone who can carve out a niche, especially if he proves himself as a potential punt returner too. Special teams could be his entry point, but strong showings on offense might accelerate his rise. In the 3rd spot, we find another defensive player entering a defining stretch. These next few months will shape not only his position on the team, but also his trajectory in the league. He's got the physical tools, but it's the mental side, his preparation, focus, and resilience, that will be tested. Fortunately, he has the right coach to bring that out of him. The challenge now is to go against high-level competition during practices and come out looking like someone who belongs. If he embraces that, he can make a major leap. Second on the list is another wide receiver, a former top 10 pick from last year. Expectations are sky high, and rightly so. When you draft a wide out in the top 10, the hope is that he becomes your number 1 option. In this case, there's already a lead guy on the roster, so there's no pressure for him to carry the load just yet. Still, this needs to be a breakout year. He's got to be more consistent, more dependable, and push toward that 1,000-yard mark. The flashes were there last season, and the chemistry was starting to develop. But in a new offensive setup, that growth has to accelerate. And finally, we arrive at the quarterback, the center of attention, the face of the franchise. All eyes are on him. Last season had its highs and lows, as expected from a rookie, but now it's time to elevate. The coaching staff believes in his upside, and everything this spring will revolve around his development. It's not just about physical talent anymore. It's about mastering the system, improving footwork, commanding the huddle, adjusting protections, and reading the field pre- and post-snap. These are the habits being built now that will define whether he can make the leap from promising to reliable. There's genuine buzz around the offense, and while OTAAs aren't the place for overreactions, they are where the foundation is poured. If the quarterback can start stacking good days, show command of the system, and build rapport with his weapons, this team could be in for a serious turnaround. As we move through these next 3 weeks, all of that starts to unfold. One throw, one rep, one read at a time. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In a surprising twist that has sent shockwaves throughout the NFL, rumors have emerged that the Chicago Bears have secretly struck a deal with Kansas City Chiefs superstar quarterback Patrick Mahomes. If confirmed, this move would mark one of the most significant shifts in the league's landscape in recent years, potentially reshaping the future of both franchises. Patrick Mahomes, widely regarded as one of the greatest talents of his generation, has been the cornerstone of the Chiefs' success since he took the reins as their starting quarterback. With a Super Bowl victory under his belt and multiple MVP awards, Mahomes has consistently dazzled fans and analysts alike with his incredible arm strength, agility, and ability to perform under pressure. His name has become synonymous with excellence and innovation on the field, making him one of the most valuable players in professional football. The Chicago Bears, on the other hand, have been in a rebuilding phase, struggling to find consistency at the quarterback position for several seasons. Known for their rich history and passionate fan base, the Bears have been searching for a franchise quarterback who can lead them back to playoff contention. Rumors of Mahomes joining Chicago have stirred hope and excitement among Bear supporters, who see this as a golden opportunity to return to prominence. According to sources close to the negotiations, the agreement between Mahomes and the Bears was reached in utmost secrecy, away from the prying eyes of the media and rival teams. While the financial details remain undisclosed, it is believed that the contract includes a lucrative long-term commitment, making Mahomes one of the highest-paid players in the league. The Bears' front office reportedly went to great lengths to secure this deal, signaling their intention to build a championship-caliber roster around their new quarterback. This unexpected development has raised several questions about the Chiefs' future without Mahomes. The franchise, which has been centered around his dynamic playmaking abilities, will now need to adjust quickly and find a way to fill the enormous void left by his departure. The ripple effects of this trade or signing could alter the balance of power in the NFL, giving the Bears a formidable weapon to compete in an increasingly competitive division. Fans and analysts are already speculating about the impact Mahomes could have in Chicago. His ability to extend plays and make spectacular throws fits well with the Bears' evolving offensive scheme. Additionally, the move could attract top-tier talent eager to join a team led by one of the league's most electrifying quarterbacks. The combination of Mahomes' leadership and the Bears' defensive prowess could create a potent formula for success. As the NFL world awaits official confirmation, the buzz surrounding this secretive agreement continues to build. Should the rumors prove true, the Chicago Bears' acquisition of Patrick Mahomes will undoubtedly go down as one of the most game-changing events in recent football history. For now, the league watches with bated breath, anticipating the dawn of a new era in Chicago, fueled by the talent and charisma of Patrick Mahomes. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.